Hi guys, DCRS here, and today I'll be doing a discussion video talk about well, hopefully it's going to be the September 2000 ban list, Forbidden Limited list. This is just a speculation video talking about what might happen and what could potentially take effect depending on how it's going to shape out. This is just my point of view of what might actually be on the list. Some parts are going to be different from everyone else's, but in my opinion, this is just my opinion for what could come back or what could get banned or what could get limited, etc., etc. I have a few different opinions from other people, so please bear in mind this is just my opinions for this. It's not really an actual prediction or something like that. It's more of like a speculation, like maybe this could happen or maybe this could happen. Considering that Zodiacs and True Kings, True Draco, sorry, not True Kings, well, maybe True Kings in like the dinosaurs, but True Dracos, not really too much. But anyway, yeah, let's begin talking with the Forbidden. For Forbidden, I've only got one card on my list, and that is Maxi. The reason why I didn't choose the Zodiac cards is because, well, the only card that's worth banning is probably Broadwell. Dryden's an okay kind of card, but Dryden's kind of iffy because yes, it's annoying at times, and it's like you can destroy face-up cards during your playstone. But it depends. It depends if Konami's actually going to hit it. The Zodiac cards in general. Well, they probably will because they've topped so much. But I'm saying like they might ban him or might not ban him because in the past, usually after Worlds after Worlds finished, they usually release a somewhat uh, very strong list, potentially banning or limiting or whatever type of cards, compared to other lists which usually just limit them or ban them, whatever. Not really ban them, but it depends on how how they affect them because if it's too strong, they usually ban it. But with Backseat, the reason why I chose Maxi as my forbidden card is because, well, it's kind of it's a luck sack card because if you don't draw it, you're kind of okay with playing. But if your opponent draws it, yeah, that can give you problems if you're trying to special summon a lot. You pretty much have to stop. It's a psychological type of effect with Maxi. It's like, do you want to give your opponent more cards or do you not want them? It works well when we played when we played Maxi around 2 or 3 copies, but one is just like whoever draws it first pretty much wins. It's like Vanny's emptiness all over again. It's really bad. Anyway, on to my limited list. This is section 1 of my limited list. The ones I chose are Zodiac Brobble, Zodiac Barrage, Zodiac Trident, and Zodiac Rapier. Reason why the Brobble and Trident's here, because Brobble can be used in a lot of different decks for searching. It's kind of broken in a way because it search for any Beast Warrior, but I think one Brobble is kind of enough because it only searches for one type of card. And recycling's alright because you have to mostly go into Diecast Emerald in Zodiacs now to actually go into to recycle your Brobbles and Tridents, all that, if they get destroyed. And well, you're kind of desperate in terms of actually trying to get more resources. So that's why I think Brobble and Trident at one kind of makes it somewhat balanced, somewhat not balanced. I don't know, it depends. Because if you go into your Brobble, you lose your only Brobble, and if you go into your Trident, you lose your only Trident. And with Barrage kind of depends with Barrage though, because you can always just do stuff with it. But it's a combo enabler, but at the same time, it's like Barrage is more of a I don't know. It's similar to Maxi. It's like a luck sack type of card. If you use it, it's more of a you go into your Zodiac plays, but the OCG, I think they had a one. I'm not too sure. In my comment below, depending on if I was right, if it has gone to one or not, I don't know. It depends. But yeah, they at the OCG they get kind of banned Barrage and Dryden and Brawl, I think, if I'm correct. But yeah, Barrage is interesting because it's good and it's bad at the same time. It's okay, but at the same time, it's like I don't know. It's kind of situational. Rapiers, if you take rapier to one, if you put rapier to one, it becomes like a foolish burial target. So it doesn't really do anything anymore. You can't rapier combo anymore because you can't spam rapier as much as you can with two or three. But yeah, that's my opinion for the Zodiac cards. Now for the other limited cards, I put Terraforming, Masterpiece, and Fossil Dig. The reason why Masterpiece is on here, as you know, it's because of if they're following the OCG, they'll put Masterpiece to 1. But in terms of how it'll shape up, I think Masterpiece is at 3 is kind of no one really uses it at 3 unless you're running pure, but I use it actually at 3 quite a bit, so I find it useful at 3, but sometimes it's kind of weird because you might brick with it, and yeah, playing 2 is like, okay, it kind of thins out the deck in a way, you can always just search for it, and at 1 it's like, you lose your boss monster, you can still play, it's just that you won't have a boss monster anymore. As for terraforming, terraforming is kind of interesting because, well, OCG has it at 2 at the moment, and for us, if we, well, it's strange because, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, they might actually copy the OCG and copy the OCG and semi-limit terraforming, or they'll just leave it alone until the metaverse comes out in like October or something like that. Uh, we don't know yet because we don't know when the next banlist is after September, or they might not release it till September, or they might release it at the end of September. Who knows? Because they just say around September or so that the next banlist will come out. So terraforming to 1 might solve the next banlist. No, might solve the next set with Metaverse, but it depends. Wait, is Metaverse coming out in the next set after, or was it the second set? I can't remember. Oh, I'll have to look it up anyway. As for Fossil Dig, it's to slow down dinos in a way because they did top, but who knows? Because it's like it's Tellarknight type of thing. Since Tellarknight's won Worlds last year, was it, or the year before? I can't remember. I think it was the year before. All they did was hit Rota to 1, and with Fossil Dig, since they're free, it makes it less consistent. So Fossil Dig to 1 and maybe Terraforming to 1 just to slow down dinos, and also True Kings. Sorry, not True. Well, True Kings in a way, and also True Dracos as well. So yeah, that could happen. As for the other limited list, the limited section I put in, Fairy Tale Snow, I think it needs to go to 1. It's really really broken, especially when you have it at 2. You can't really do a lot when it's at 2. Because you can easily just mill it. If you're playing a 60 card deck, you just mill it and it's like you have a snow. 3 is like really hard to get around because you always have 1 snow. 1 snow is enough, I think. If you mill the 1 snow, it's pretty much good. But if you have more than 1 snow, holy moly, that's yeah, you'll have a lot of snows to deal with. As for Wind Up Hunter, yeah, that's gonna be most of my speculation for this next list. Basically, windups haven't done that much, and considering we're into link format now, Windup Hunter was the main problem for windup. So if Windup Hunter gets limited, why did I put limited? Sorry, I think I made a typo. I think Windup Hunter should be banned, not limited. So I'll just get rid of that. So yeah, Windup Hunter should be actually banned rather than limited. I don't know why I didn't finish it till. I didn't know why I just noticed that till now. Anyway, Externite, because they reprinted Externite in the Battle of Legend Light's Revenge, so yeah, was it Duel Saga? I can't remember. No, it was Light's Revenge. They reprinted it, so I don't know why they reprinted it. So yeah, that's weird. Maybe it's coming back. That's what everyone's speculating because they don't really reprint a band card, unless it's actually coming back. But they did reprint a band card a while ago, and it still hasn't come off. I can't remember which one it was. They did do that. Don't know. But it might come back, might not, depending if Externite Knight will come back or not. As for my semi-limits, Moral Attack I believe should go back to 2, at least for the test run. BLS because, well, BLS hasn't done anything at 1, and since we're actually, it might cause a somewhat of a interesting perspective actually with BLS employee beginning at 2. I don't know. OCG hasn't had a problem with it at 2 so far, so some decks have topped with BLS at 2. But in my opinion, yeah, BLS at 2 is alright, I suppose. I could give it a test run. These are mostly just a test run for semi-limits, see how well they do, and see if they actually do anything meta-wise play or tournament play in general. Book of Moon, it should have gone to 2 a long time ago. It's an okay card. It doesn't affect Link monsters, and I guess Book of Moon does somewhat affect the extra monster zone in a way, in terms of XYZs, extra synchros and all that. Maybe should go to 2, maybe not. I don't know. It depends. It's an okay card. At 2 is okay, I think, for a test run. This is mostly just a test run type of set. In terms of my speculation. Other semi-limits, Brain Control, it got reprinted, so it's not as good as people think. You can only target monsters that only have a clause of being normal summon or set. Normal summon or settable. Basically, you can't mind control or take control of a monster that is special summoned or cannot be normal summoned or set. Basically, anything that has to do with the extra deck or special summonable monsters that cannot be normal summoned or set. That includes ritual monsters. And fusion monsters and all those extra deck type of cards, yeah. Cardomize, Chainburn? Perhaps? I don't know. Maybe it's time for Cardomize to go to 2. It hasn't really done that much. It only affects true Dracos and anything that runs back row heavy type of decks. Like anything Demise deck related. Yeah. In my opinion, Dragonic Diagram actually should potentially go to 2 because in my in the last slide, I put Terraforming to 1. This is just to help slow down certain decks, and Diagram to 2 should be fine because Terraforming is at 1. It slows it down most decks that pretty much need a field spell. But in terms of Diagram should go to 2. That's what I think. Otherwise, if the TCG will copy what the OCG has been doing, they'll probably limit Dragonic Diagram because at Worlds it didn't seem to be a problem at 1, so 2 maybe? I don't know. And for pre-prep, not pre-prep, pre-preps are free anyway. Preparation rights, perhaps to help out Vendrids in a way, because the next set might come out with more Vendrid stuff, so preparation rights might boost up ritual-based decks and also the new Vendrid, perhaps. This is just a speculation. I'm not sure if actually they will do that, but hey, who knows. And for my last cards, for Unlimits, Witch of Black Forest. This guy got reprinted in Battles of Legend Light Revenge. It's a Sangan type of scenario again. Sangan hasn't really done that much. The only thing it has done is Search Max C, which is very, very annoying. But other than that, Witch Black Forest is okay cover card. It hasn't really done that much. Actually, it hasn't even done that much at all because it's still banned on the Forbidden list, Forbidden Limited list. So yeah, Witch Black Forest should probably come back to 3 maybe because Sangan's at 3, hasn't done anything. Sangan or Witch Black Forest is pretty much the mirror type of cards. It does the same thing in a way. It's just that they're reversed because Sangan's attack and Witch of Black Forest is defense. Grandmal. When has Grandmal done anything? It's okay. It's okay. It gets around the extra deck type of monsters, but other than that, Grandmal hasn't really done that much, and you can easily get around it anyway. So Grandmal's not that hard to deal with. It is annoying, but at the same time, it's not annoying to the point where it doesn't exactly do any harm. Unless, of course, it's easy because with Dryad and stuff, you can just pop it, and if anything that disrupts its attack, pretty much Grandma will lose to it. So there's no point in actually having Grandma at 1 because it doesn't do anything, pretty much. All it does is just compulse a monster, but you have to go into your battle phase. You don't really want to waste your battle phase, since the battle phase is much, much more important than your actual, I don't know, your main phase 2 and stuff in a way. But yeah, that's just my opinion in a way, because Grandma is like, it's kind of weird. Rescue Cat, it got the nerf, so it should come back to 3 at least. Hasn't really done that much. And last but not least, Unlimits. Now, these are additional wind-up cards. Zenmayo, I believe its name is. Zenmayo and Wind-Up Magician. Zenmayo, we're in link format, so it's really hard to spam XYZs at the moment, so Zenmayo should come back, in my opinion. It's really up to Konami in a way, I guess. If they think Zenmayo is a problem, then, well, it'll still be forbidden. But at the moment, Zenmayo hasn't done really much anything. Wind-Up Magician, yeah, since Wind-Up Hunter was the problem, it should be banned. Sorry, I should have put it in my forbidden list. Wind-Up Magician has got to go in a way. I don't know, actually, should Wind-Up Hunter be limited? I don't know. But yeah, Wind-Up Hunter, actually, people only just run one Wind-Up Hunter anyway. I guess, yeah, maybe ban it, depending. I don't know, depends. But Wind-Up Hunter is annoying. As for Wind-Up Magician, hasn't really done that much. It does cause a somewhat of a loop, but it's not a bad loop in a way. It does spam it, but it's only to do with your if Wind-Up Hunter's on the field. Other than that, if Wind-Up Hunter doesn't exist, they can just still spam the field, right? Level 4 spam the field, or level 3 spam. I don't know. They usually just summon Rat and Wind-Up Magician and stuff. It's a weird loop. But yeah, I played during the wind-up format, so I hate Hunter. Hunter's the one card that annoys the hell out of everyone. As for other cards, Mathematician, don't know why it got limited. Maybe during Shuffle. Actually, no, it was in Shuttle format anyway. But I think it should go back to 3 because Mathematician isn't doing that much, and well, it's not the effect. The effect is not once per turn anyway, so I guess maybe that's why it was limited. But other than that, Mathematician should probably come back to 3, I guess. Hasn't really done that much. And also Dragon Ravine. If Terraforming's at 1, Ravine, there's no point Ravine staying at 2, because you can easily get to it. And, well, wait, can you get to it? I don't know. But anyway, Dragon Ravine should probably come back to 3 if Terraforming is at 1. And it's more easy to get around if we have Metaverse and the next set, or the next set after. I can't remember when Metaverse comes out. But yeah, Dragon Ravine should come back to 3 when Terraforming goes back to 1. Or 2, depending on if Konami's generous enough to actually give us Dragon Ravine. Or Stratos as well, as a matter of fact. But yeah, wow, I've talked to almost about nearly 19 minutes. Nearly 20 minutes, actually. But yeah, this is just a speculation for the Forbidden Limiters list that I think should happen. I don't know. There's not that many decks actually done much. Oh, also, speaking of terraforming, since if it goes to 1 or 2, it does slow down Trickstars and stuff in a way because they need their field spell, sort of. But Trickstars haven't really doing that much. They have topped sometimes in the OCG, but that's mostly due to I don't know. It depends on the tournament numbers and stuff. Trickstar is more of a rogue deck at the moment. So yeah, that's my opinion for that. So I don't know, because with Cantina they can just search the field spell. So it's like, what's the point of terraforming that 3? It just gives them more consistent searches. Trickstars are pretty much very, very consistent as it is, and I play Trickstars and I've topped with it plenty of times. Well, not plenty of times. I'm being more egotistic, but still. Trickstars are very, very dangerous if terraforming is at 3, so they should really get onto that if Konami does plan on hitting terraforming anytime soon. 2, perhaps, or 1, depending. But yeah, this is DCRS. I hope you guys enjoyed this Banlist speculation for September onwards. But yeah, this is DCRS signing out. Bye.